Hello there, it's good to see you. This is Morning Express. It's time for the hot topics. We're looking at what has been making headlines in pop culture. And joining us in studio for that is Adiyambo, who's a pop culture commentator. Well, good to see you, love. It's been a while.
Yes.
Yeah?
Sorry, the other time, what were we doing?
Yeah, you were in Mombasa. Kijivinjari. Sawa.
Sawa.
We are building the nation as the rest of you.
We did.
Have fun.
Yes.
Yeah?
It's good to see you.
Solo, it's good to see you.
It's Jambo.
I understand you're from Neo's gig.
Yeah.
You are a true trooper.
Yeah. Neo has had a good time and you're supposed to go to the airport today at 6:30.
He's leaving already?
We're only hoping that he makes it.
We're hoping he makes it to the airport.
You've left him in the club?
Yeah, he was leaving the club as I was leaving the club.
Oh my gosh, so from the club to the airport. Yeah. But he'll sleep anyway.
But if I made it there, I made it here, so he'll probably
make it.
Yeah, he made it.
How was it though?
Awesome.
It was awesome.
He's had a good time.
And of course, Stevens, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Representing in, this is white? What do you call off-white?
This is just
being careful.
What it is.
This is what?
Ivory.
Fibroid.
I would ask my designer to explain this.
Yeah, I also have my designer.
No, she's just throwing it to me because we're just talking about her look and her new feel and the watch and everything, and she just said people are just loving her. So keep the roses coming and.
Oh, let's give a shout out to that guy.
Oh yeah.
What's
you
his
know,
name?
nimetoka Mombasa ni juzi.
We didn't see you.
There's this guy called Mwema. Where should I? Mwema from
That's
Mombasa.
your camera.
Yeah, Mwema from Mombasa sent a special shout out to you, and he asked me 3 times. Sophia nakanga hivyo nakanga kwa TV. 3 times.
So he imagines I'd look her.
We give another guy shout out, and it's not just funny places, but this guy actually is from Mulolongo. He's called Tom.
Oh God.
He said, Sophia, shout out. Yeah, so cool.
So Mlolongo is Tom and Mwema, thank you so much for watching. We're so delighted to always have you every morning. So
cool.
Cheers. Ninakanga hivyo. Tutapatana siku moja. Confirmation. But let's start with the pulse this morning before we go to the other hot topics. Of course, what's been trending also beyond our borders. Right. So a lot's happening in here, Mr. Man. But one of the interesting stories I'm seeing is that there's a recent proposal by a governor that all artists from outside his county, and it's Mombasa that you're reporting about here, pay a fee in order to perform. It has drawn heavy criticism. However, they're saying they were misquoted. Yeah,
I think it's a big story, and that came from a meeting that the governor was having during the International Youth Day.
Yeah, Youth Day. Yeah.
And he was addressing the young people, of course, and it's caught on camera. He said, and it's quoted in a story. He said artists who come from Mombasa should be paying 1,000 shillings when they're having a performance. Then he said artists who don't come from Mombasa should be paying 100,000 when they have a show. Well, this was translated as anybody who does not come Mombasa. Could be Nairobi artists, could be those from Kisumu, Tanzania, wherever. They're supposed to be paying, well, somebody said 200, which was wrong. That was wrong. Yeah. But he
so
said
you have the clip of him saying that.
Yes,
he's saying
do.
1,000 bob for Mombasa artists, 100,000 for any artist outside of Mombasa.
Yes. However, when we called his office and the minister in charge of sports and gender, they made a correction and said we made Kenyan artists will be paying 1,000 shillings. However, anybody from outside Kenya, and that is the promoter in charge of the show, should be paying 100,000. Which is also a big story now because Mombasa, it's about many bongo artists who probably don't even get that earning when they go to perform, and it's been the friction of the industry, what it is this week.
So at this, what do you think? Is it feasible to charge artists? I mean, I know there's a lot of conversations about how much money they make. Now here we're talking about getting some money off of them to perform.
I know that probably the governor meant well, and you do know that now all of them want to find a way of raising revenue. I mean, you remember that there was even a charge for chicken, a charge for cows in other counties, you know, for even when you want to bury people. I think in Kiambu there was that burial. So I think it's just that I think with the music industry, nobody pays a lot of attention, and when you touch it a little bit or you just scratch it, then people become so defensive. I do not think there's anything wrong with people paying 1,000 shillings, for example, so that then you are also getting that revenue inside, because you need to be able to be charged for something.
But
It's just
100,000
the
for
100,000
external?
for people from outside, that could be too punitive.
Right.
Yeah, because then you don't even know whether there would have been sponsorship or whether even the gate charges would get to that. But there's nothing wrong, absolutely, to have checks and balances for when people actually visit your county. The same way when you go to the game park, surely you don't just walk and say, because I come from Nairobi and now I'm going to the game reserve, please allow me, I am Kenyan. Well, you know, there's, yeah, so that's the rationale.
Solo, what do you think?
Well, this is how I choose to look at it. I mean, how does it benefit? We're at an era where our artists are we're trying to see how they can improve their livelihood and stuff like that. So what does this 100,000 shillings, what does this 1,000 shillings mean to the artist? I mean, is it bringing good? Is it bringing, is it denting the industry? Because, so...
1,000 will dent the industry, Solo.
But where does it go? What does it do?
Maintenance.
Maintenance of these places.
No, but we're looking at national level. We just had the Kenya music policy the other day. We are trying to look at something that's positive for the artist. So what are we doing by charging this 1,000 shillings?
The story is, and that's how they explain that, what they are doing is, and this is belong coming, because this conversation has been on and on, that Mombasa artists hardly make it anywhere when we have a number of them, and of course they don't have to blame nobody for it. It's, we have a lot of them talking in this story. When you say you want to safeguard Mombasa artists and the 70% play talk and all that, I think sometimes at this level, I think it's taken to a different level, because now when you say I want to protect Mombasa artists to perform in Mombasa and make revenue, and then you try to close the rest out, what you're saying is you sort of try to segregate the industry and break it into many pieces. And the story has details on even groups in Kisumu now who are saying we also want to impose new bylaws and we want to be factored when somebody's performing. So really,
I think it was taken out of context. The original reason for it has been changed because, again, in this industry, everybody has a reason for everything.
Okay, we'll wait for the industry stakeholders to hear what they'll have to say.
If I could just close in this one, I would say this is a true scenario of how government interference can dent the music industry, because what made the governor come up with such a decision?
So you're seeing it as interference?
It's interference.
She says 1,000 bob is not too much, surely.
It's not about how much it is. It's just what's the cost, and cost artists have been crying every day.
But they always cry.
They always cry. That's the issue. What is crying about, man? You gotta
no,
cry
it's like, no, they cry louder now.
And that's what I'm
they keep crying.
It's been long coming.
Trust me, they are always crying.
And demonstrating.
For no reason.
All right, well, that's a harsh one, for no reason. Hats off for Neo is on the spotlight on page 6. The R&B star was in Kenya. You're saying he's headed to the airport from the club with Solo. Did you get a selfie with him?
Yes, I did.
Oh, let me see.
Well, can I show you?
Oh my
Where's
God.
my phone? Someone has
Solo, where's your
Oh, really?
But the thing about last night, and we were just sharing with Solo, is how, of course, every big artist from all over Africa was around, and of course there are those who want to be big and all that. Saudi Soul and the likes.
We had Diamond, we had Al-Kiba, we had Maurice
from the different countries.
Everybody
was
there.
They were doing the mashup way.
So he was here, for those who don't know these things.
Yes.
Coke Studio?
Yes, Coke Studio. Yes. And he was performing.
Mashup.
Yes.
So what is mashup?
Okay.
That's the thing.
Okay, break it down for us.
Mashup is when different.
It's not for me, no.
Yeah. Mashup is killing it.
Coke Studio is on. Coke Studio. Let's make it
for the
easy.
killer.
Simplify, Stephen, simplify. Simplify the
my mom is
mashup.
watching, she watches in the morning. What are these young people
Coke Studio season 3, and Coke Studio is a show for the biggest artists in Africa, where you put them together. You can mash up like Octopizzo, and he was doing it with who? Octopizzo and another artist from another country. Did you do a mashup, do a good song?
You do
like
a
we have
song that is
like
already existing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now you mash it
Then
up.
you mash it up with something else.
So
like
Neo
a
was
different
the artist.
version.
Like mashed potatoes, you mash it up, you know. So there's Al-Kiba.
You're not explaining it to
I'm explaining
Sophia.
it. I'm explaining it to all the moms who are watching that. Mashup is like mashing
Like mashed
potatoes. Yeah, mashed
Put it
potatoes.
together.
It's an existing tune that is big enough. So you take the biggest artist, and then you get the others that will support them.
Right.
And then the bed of that is his sound, and then the others put it, and then it's a new tune. It's like the way what Flavor did with the Victoria Kimani, and their version of Ada.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now that's a mashup.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it was good to see him around. He looks good. Is he short?
Well,
Like in person?
he's my height. I'm not short, but
You are short.
yeah, I'm not short.
When I'm in heels, I'm taller than you, am I not?
If you stand in his...
but let me say one thing. He's really enjoyed his time in Kenya.
Yeah. Is he married?
No, he's not married. He's
He
engaged.
loves Kenya.
He has a
He loves
fiance.
Kenya a lot.
And the girls are crazy.
He has a fiance.
Yes.
Did he come with her?
No.
It's work.
Yeah. Very
Should have holiday, then
polite.
go to Masai Mara.
No, it's work.
Very polite guy.
It's business.
Very polite guy.
Okay.
And the girls are all there. All the artists also lining up for.
You should have
selfies and
sent
stuff,
that
right?
picture to our producer to put it up. Evidence of what,
honestly.
selfie with Neo.
Okay, then
My
we can
guy.
get it on
No, there are
the-
very many
I don't
selfies
think
that
Solo would really feel everywhere with Neo. Probably Rihanna also.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Oh, my
by the
God.
way.
Yeah. Me and you were just kicking it. Like, we were
just
mashing
like,
it up.
cool.
In the club.
But Solo was also talking about Diamond and the way he looked misplaced.
Well, yesterday it looked like Neo stole the show from, because
course,
Diamond
I
was
mean,
also there.
Of course.
For the first time ever, Diamond did not need bouncers in the club. Like, nobody cared he was there.
What?
Yeah, it was
But
about
he's really
Neo,
little. Why
Neo.
does he ever need
That
any?
level.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know the way he's always protecting, he's always saying, I don't want the DJ, I don't want bouncers, I want this, all those demands. For the first time, it looked like, yo,
Yeah.
He
I'm
was
also writing.
just now the
I'm
regular
writing,
artist
please,
who
I'm
needs to pay 100,000 in Mombasa.
In his oh gosh. All right, finally in the Pulse, we have what new policy means to celebs. So this is also something we'll feature in our next conversation on Friday Chat. But after 10 years of waiting, you have the Kenya National Music Policy.
Yes.
So what is this where you sit?
I think the Pulse breaks it down very well. And we beg today that don't just listen to the conversation, buy the paper and get the details, because we try to break down at least 11 points that are captured there. But like we were saying also, is the level of ignorance among Kenyan artists, that this is a big thing for them, where you need to go study, probably even do group things and see how you can advance the music industry. Talk with the stakeholders, and we are talking about them being here today, probably breaking it down for us. But for me at this point is the musicians out there and all the artists, please, let's not just say that the CS launched this and everybody was happy. Let's not be happy about something we don't know what it is all about.
You know, Steve, it's just like I was telling you, that even the day of the launch, there was just Wairi and Ringtone, actually, and Nonini. They're the guys who actually attended.
The others were demonstrating.
The others were probably too busy or asleep or, or anything else. So until these people can be hungry enough for what is important for them, then nobody will sit down. It means a lot for them. Any policy, government policies, when they're put through, and this is really, we are among the first among equals to actually put it together. We are not that behind, because even other countries that we think are developed do not have a policy that will be able to check how you earn, how you're treated, how your welfare generally across the industry works. So for them, they need to understand it so that they argue from a point of knowledge. Most of them don't. They just say, we do my music. They don't do this. And
they're not involved.
They're not involved. And government, even for you to do anything with government, there have to be policies. Government don't just wake up and say, oh, I love you very much, I will give 30 million. There has to be a way.
Okay. Your thoughts on the same?
Well, like she has said, it's like us getting the new constitution, and people are so happy. But what are you going to do? What is your effort? What is your input?
Right.
I mean, how do you arrange yourself? Artists have to know.
How do you arrange yourself?
Yeah.
That's direct translation, my friend. How do you
organize?
Neo.
Could only hang out with Neo. You should grab off his direct translation.
And it should have been more American, but
No, I try to keep my local thing.
Your local thing.
Yeah, we mash it up with an American thing. Like. Rocco and American,
anyway, I'm real. Why is everybody saying she's born again? Is she?
Did you see the clip?
Was she?
I saw a picture of her anekelewa mkono.
Yeah, being put hands on.
And Avril is watching this show, so
yes, Avril, maybe tweet us. Tell us, have you seen the light?
Wakaomba, and
it's all right.
And
it's all right.
No, that's not the problem, though. Here are three men of God around this girl, and they're just saying your life will never be the same again. Of course, well, that's and the way we translate it, for those who go to church and see people getting converted, people just say did they just say she got saved? But since then, Avril ran away. So she's not saying anything.
She has said
She has
something.
told her life
She
will
has.
never-
You know.
Okay, what has she said?
Avril has spoken.
right.
Avril has said that even she goes to church, even she can get
Amen,
inspired,
sister.
even she can be able to be around men of God.
Thank you.
And the other people who are calling out and saying, "Oh, are you going to leave the booty now?" I mean, you saw what Moaf posted. Like, Moafrica really, you know, somewhere.
Why are people
that she's
getting
going to
scared that
leave what?
Avril is getting saved?
There's no problem.
Because there is a shortage of there will be a shortage of young, bootylicious women entertaining people. Because size 8, you know, also left and decided that now, you know, it's everything is clean, no more mateke, you know. So people still need her around. However, she said there's absolutely no problem with her. She loves Jesus on her personal level, not as a personal savior.
Amen.
And she
And
will
even if
still
it's
be able
personal
to do.
savior, I
and
mean,
she said
that's
she can,
her business.
Yes, and she
I
said she
think
can do
that's-
music.
yeah, that's-
Even with another another artist, like, because people are complaining she wants to do a song with Christina.
Shusho.
Yeah, Shusho. And she said there's nothing wrong.
There's
she
nothing
can
wrong.
be able to do that.
Kwa
Just
hivyo
a simplistic
so
mind
we can
that
say
imagine that
Avril
should cannot
anaogopa
happen.
kuokoka.
No, she didn't say that.
You're the
Okay.
people who
No,
are
men are
critiquing
scared.
that are afraid
Many
of
people are
seeing that
scared
kind of...
I go that direction.
No, people were just hating. I think really, if you decide to be saved, it's all good. Just do not change anything about you. Just look like that.
You don't want the booty to go.
No, don't change.
All right, the Nairobian, meanwhile, is leading with the army boss bombs, like literally. Okay, this is in quotes, so not real
Yes,
bombing.
yes.
Rival over cheating campus lover.
Yes, this was a story that we broke down this week. We talked about this lady is called Lillian, and the flame, the guy is actually a former army boss, and now he's a turned lecturer, and was having a fling with one of the students. So, boom, that was a bomb from the military guy. I think people should just grab this copy and see.
Has he said anything?
I don't know what you've said, but...
What has he said?
What I'm saying is the fight is between the wife, the former wife of the former military guy, and who is turned
There's
to
so
a
many
lecturer
formers
now.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Who's
everybody
now
is ex.
who's now a lecturer, and had a fling with a student from the university he lectures.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Meanwhile, this My Life is in Danger. Senator Joy Gwendo, says border rider was after her. So this story was in one of the dailies during the week, and the details were that this border guy bumped her car
Yes.
and sped off,
Yes.
and her bodyguard shot the passenger on the border.
Yes.
And that's, yes, but she's arguing no one was shot.
Well, she refutes. She says someone, when they were driving and she was sitting in the back seat, and a guy in the border came and hit them from behind. Then they stopped and they were trying to confront the guy, but he sped off. So fearing that she had already announced weeks earlier that her life was in danger, the bodyguard fired in the air. But she says the bodyguard fired in the air, not at the guy. Right? But then when the guy sped off, they followed the guy and found the motorcycle dumped, and the guy disappeared. The next day, or after they reported, the next day, the owner of the bicycle, the motorbike came, the police station, and now there were all these questions: why did the guy not show up? The guy who was actually the cyclist, you know, and you know, she says because of what has been happening in crime and motorcycles, you know, a lot of gangsters riding with bikes.
So she was worried.
Yes.
So why is this other story about somebody being shot, a passenger who was on the border?
Well, that was a claim.
Yeah, but that was
But
not
it's
true.
not
No,
confirmed.
that's not
Not confirmed.
Yes.
But I think there's been
Okay.
a lot of border, a lot of
Crime-related
cards and
stuff.
crime-related. You know, like when you drive in your car and you put it, have you ever just felt very afraid when they
Yes.
come
Yes.
very close to you? So I think it's for people like them who also have a bodyguard and who they, you know, they can actually just look behind and take. My friend actually just last week, in fact today, this is very unrelated, but it's also related. Today, the people in Kisumu are having a demonstration about this sort of insecurity because they are really tired about it. My friend, a personal friend, she was just, you know, the way she's driving, everything was just taken and there was a gun. And it's daylight, it's not at night.
So this is, and these are two
yeah.
different issues. On one hand, you have, yes, there is cases of border,
Yeah.
but in this particular case, could be just a border guy.
It could also just be a
was,
normal
you know,
one, yeah.
trying their crazy antics on the road, bumped into her car,
Yeah.
was scared because it's
Yes.
a big car, you cannot repay, don't have the money, and although he should not have fled away.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah.
But
That-
insecurity is huge,
Yeah.
especially because this wasn't Nairobi, was it?
Maybe it's a question about maybe the government should do something about. It's really hard to find the number plate of motorbike.
Yeah.
Maybe they should come up with something that that can help identify whether it's a commercial bike or it's a personal bike. You understand the way they do taxis and matatus?
There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many, and we cannot pick it's a KAC or something like that.
Sometimes I just annoyed.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
We get to where Uganda is.
I know there's so many I understand, and also on the road you're driving and you're just constantly like wondering and worried about.
At least here, Kisumu.
I've been to Kisumu.
You didn't like it. Did you like the driving there?
Well, thank God I wasn't driving. But I pay Kakamega women to give birth. Page 11 of the Nairobi, and that's what the governor of Paranya is saying.
It's a good county.
Yeah, this is a good, very interesting story, and I think for ladies who would want to
I must go back home then. I'll be paid to do this. You know, this is my governor, by the way.
Yeah.
He's paying.
Apparently, if a woman gives birth...
What are their husbands?
If a woman gives birth in Kakamega, she gets 12,000 shillings.
Why?
I want more.
Well, he has said he's not doing this for like encouraging them to give birth, but it's just for upkeep and stuff like that. You know, just
he'll encourage, of course. Okay, but then again, who would be encouraged for 9 months to get 12,000
is good money.
It used to happen
after 9 months, if you look at it in terms of money-making business.
Don't you know the song called Nerea?
Let me explain. No, but let me explain the way I understand, because I have a friend of mine involved in this same place, and I think it's the same project.
In paying us?
In pain, in this sense that many of these women never used to go to hospital to deliver, and they used to do this at home. It's not about...
There are times my governor behaves nicely. I'm happy about that. I'll go back.
But just before we leave Opraya, he has also declared a state of emergency in Kakamega. Says we have a shortage of chickens in the county, which has forced us to import surplus from Nandi County. So kukus disappear, 12,000.
Oh gosh. Okay.
No, it could be a...
That's a business opportunity for somebody who wants to go and rear
instead of giving 12,000, can give chicken.
For other guys, it's a non-issue. So
maybe they need the money. Finally, the Nairobian also has Linda Okello. You all remember the Beautiful cop. Yes. Police officers endorse celebrity, quote-unquote, armed cop.
Yes.
What does that mean?
The Police Association of Women in Policing is actually a national initiative that has been going on, you know, to empower the women and how they tackle issues about women in crime and such incidents. So they had elections last week, and they elected a couple of police. But now the interesting part of this story is that even a couple of female police officers demonstrated, said kura zimeibiwa, but Linda
Okello won.
Kura za polisi pia zimeibiwa, right? But you know, we got a few new officials, which includes the chairperson who is Judy Jebet. But the ones who are complaining said that you know, one of their candidates was disqualified because of you know, the way they do it in politics.
Okay.
So there's politics everywhere.
Yeah. Everywhere.
It's a good thing that she's doing
beautiful.
something.
Oh, they're looking. All of them that have been elected, they're looking.
The cops are hot.
They are all
hot.
Hot cops.
So grab yourself a copy of the Nairobian today. There's so much more we haven't looked at. You can get to read and enjoy. Also, the Pulse is inside your copy of the Standard newspaper. When you grab it, you'll be able to read all of that and so much more. Now, I want us to play you a video of this 38-year-old woman from Indiana. She's called Jessica Hayes. She's gotten married.
Yeah.
To who is the part we want to discuss, but first watch the clip.
It was very interesting.
Yes. Getting married? I really thought that I would, and I think, you know, that most people do, and that's a natural and a good desire. And I think that really, in some sense, we're all called to be married. It's just a matter of discerning how. And so my marriage is to Christ, and someone else's marriage is to their spouse, and a priest's marriage is to the church. And so that's a good desire that's planted within us by God, and the real question is how. How is this lived most joyfully in me?
All right, she's decided to marry Jesus. Not that there was a physical guy there called Jesus. No, the one in heaven, the one we do not see, the one we pray to.
So she's connected
So,
Spiritually or something.
yeah. What do you think about that?
That's a go-to person.
Holy mat.
That's
What
a
would
go-to
Jesus
person
say?
right now. What would Jesus do?
WWJD.
Yeah,
What would Jesus do in this
Did Jesus
particular
say yes?
situation
So
when
there's
he has a wife?
There's a Mrs.
Yeah,
Jesus.
but here's my thing. I don't know what you guys think, but we're having a discussion with someone and they said, you know what, this looks and stinks of a publicity stunt because when it comes to matters spiritual, you need not take it to that level. If you're marrying Jesus, marry him. It's your business with your heart and him. It should be one of those things.
Unless you were none. You know,
What do you
actually, when
think?
I saw it, Sophia, I thought that she's you know, like those little San Franciscan, whatever we are, because she even laid down like flat, on the floor, and I don't know what rituals were performed for the entire marriage
Is
ceremony.
she normal?
No, I don't think she is.
There are several. I don't even understand, because for me, I think that is so blasphemous even in the first place.
Yeah.
Because how do you, I mean, he didn't ask for your hand in marriage, you asked for his hand, he didn't say back
didn't
that
say
it's
yes.
okay.
Yeah,
I'm
like
going
the
to
vows,
have
how did
you,
that
like,
work?
How did it go? So you
Or
say,
is he
I
married?
take him, then Jesus says yes. I mean, how, no.
Marry Jesus. She needs help.
Yeah.
Although, again, you could look at it from the element of she's simply making a commitment to holy living, virginity, you know. Your hungries out there.
Okay.
Leave her alone. She's married.
But that's something else, really. It's not really
It's
marrying
not
Jesus.
that.
You don't have to.
You don't have to
even
marry Jesus
tell
to do
us.
that.
You can marry him and keep quiet.
Marrying Jesus could be what these guys were saying about Avril. You get saved
Yes.
and believe in Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, you have him. But this is now marrying him and God. No,
Like now
that's
Jesus is
not
my
normal.
husband.
Yeah.
No, really.
I'm Mrs. Jesus.
No, she said, by
She's
the way,
troubled.
she wants to still be called Miss. Because she said that she teaches at a high school in Indiana, and she was saying that her kids, her students were wondering, now do they call her Mrs.? She says, no, I'm still Miss.
Oh God, then there's an issue.
Married
with her.
miss.
Yeah,
Married
married
That's
miss.
the first in the
Married
world.
to
Yeah?
Jesus. Meanwhile, this is what's been happening with the royal family. You heard that the palace wrote to paparazzi pretty much, asking that they stay away from little Prince
Oh yeah, the
George.
little prince, yeah.
They're harassing the little guy. They're going to all kinds of lengths to get his pictures. So they use other kids to lure him out to play and take pictures.
Because he loves to play.
And he's such
Yeah.
a charmer. Like, he's gonna, I think he'll be like his father, what are they called? The brother?
Which one?
William's
Charles
brother.
William,
Yes.
Yeah.
The thing about the royals.
Harry?
Harry,
Harry.
thank you.
Yes,
Think
like
he'll be like
Harry.
Harry.
Okay.
The thing about the royals is that sometimes there are times they come out of their cocoons, but sometimes they become also a little bit too much, because the child is 2. And it's terrible too. If you have a 2-year-old, you know, most of the times if they look through the window and they see other little children, they will want to play. The paparazzi there also just want good pictures, because everybody wants to see what they're wearing, who's doing what, and they do know that if he runs out, maybe the mom will come out, maybe some of those people and some of the questions they want to do will come out,
And
and they
trip
get
and fall and they get a good photo.
So they should just chill. Those people do not want anything from them. They just want to see the little guy and maybe get one
No,
or
but you
two.
remember, they are coming from a place of history
yeah.
with
Yes.
Princess
Right.
Diana dying
Yeah.
from, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of a
Pressure from
situation.
paparazzi.
Yeah, so I think, but also the
two-year-old.
society has a role to play, because it is because
But
people want these pictures that gets the paparazzi to, you know, get them, because they sell for such high prices.
And talking from a paparazzi point of view, you'd want that photo. So
Yeah.
So,
But I almost feel like
want
it's a publicity stunt, because they should be telling the parents to keep off from the media, not telling the paparazzi to keep off from the
because
kid.
paparazzi must go
The
and
kid is
find
only 2 years.
the paparazzi are going there, finding out. So
Yeah.
the parents are doing their role well. And so, no, yes, paparazzi, you want that photo.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I hear you, Sophia, on where they come from, but I don't think they don't need to really worry. Those people are not even coming. You know, mostly he goes to the park. You know, the way Elizabeth and people are so proper, you really can't catch that child off guard most of the time. So
But it's a
also-
child, you will catch them off guard. Children are always off guard.
They don't know what's up.
They're not ever
Oh,
off
no,
guard.
not royal ones.
No, they are, because he's a baby,
kid
and you've
is a
seen
kid,
him
yeah.
acting up
Yes.
even
Yeah.
in very formal
Before he knows what's
situations.
happening.
'Cause
So
he doesn't know
paparazzi
what's
wants
happening.
that.
Yeah.
They want to get that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a little drag for women that has been produced.
Little
So-
but big.
No, it's actually
with
little.
big effects.
what can you just
quite.
say? The
No, Viagra.
background
Yeah.
for women.
I was teasing it. Nikki,
Okay. There's
Let it lay there.
what is?
You know, yesterday, or it wasn't yesterday, it was the other day actually when CNN broke the news. And CNN sometimes, interestingly, are the ones who just sat down and said, oh God, you know, finally there is something for...
Finally.
Yes, for them, I think they've been waiting for this. And see, there was breaking news. And when I checked what is breaking, I saw that there's a female Viagra.
Who asked
and then I clicked on it like pretty quickly because, oh my God, who needs this? But then it's not...
I can tell you who needs it. Before you go on, that lady who got saved to Jesus needs that thing. She needs that little drug.
No, she has no plans. She doesn't have plans to do this. This is
she's not struggling.
Yeah,
like
she's not. Yes,
struggling.
It's supposed to help with many things.
Yeah, but we're in Kenya now. Do Kenyan women?
So you're saying that you saw that and
I went to it to just find out what does it do the same things. You know, like you see the blue pill for these guys.
You were excited.
Has a
No, for men,
certain.
not
For men.
Yeah, for you.
So and what did you find out after you clicked
I
on it?
found out that it has other things that are not necessarily just like making people hot and heavy. Because I think there's no problem with that for most of the time, but sometimes you actually really just want to change the mindset to get into the mood, but also to help. I saw that part of it also helps with some these issues you have during menstrual cycles and the different sides. So it's not necessarily that, it's not for one thing only. It actually also helps with other aspects of reproductive
But it
health.
also has serious side effects.
Of
It also
course,
has a
eventually it
downside.
will, because it brings your heart rate up. There will
has
be
side
other issues maybe with all those. Having said that, personally, I do not think that in Kenya it's a necessity.
No,
Probably,
in Kenya, it's inborn.
In Kenya, we don't need.
Yeah, it's inborn. I don't think we have a problem.
I don't think that have a big
we
market.
do so well here.
Well, this side's where I come from. I don't think.
There'll be no,
do this.
he's watching for his people.
I saw a picture on Instagram. Someone had posted how men in Nyeri should sleep. Like someone was taking a nap. Did you see it?
So if they
Protecting their
so
business.
if they gave the Nyerian
Women?
the Viagra,
Yeah.
how would
No. The women in Nyeri have been complaining. I told you. It's
so for
inborn
them
here.
they're okay.
They're ready.
They're
No
okay,
woman
sir.
in Kenya has a problem with that. No.
I don't think we
woman
need
has
this thing in
insurance.
Kenya unless somebody comes and says.
Have you guys heard of these nuts?
No.
Forget about this Viagra. You ever heard of these nuts?
Which one?
Do you have the clip?
Oh no, that guy.
The candidate.
Yes, the candidate. Yes.
So there's a 15-year-old candidate. You know the American
I've seen, yes, yeah.
elections are coming up next year. So there's a lot that's been happening. And there's a 15-year-old little boy who's, of
Also
course,
decided.
putting himself out there. It's called, okay, his name is not Disnuts actually, but Disnuts is
There's a
what he's being
hashtag that
called.
came out of something that he said.
And he actually on a poll had 9%, you know, put against other candidates, Hillary, Trump and all. 9% is huge.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the
Kids are on
candidates now,
Twitter, but what's
Kenyan.
happening to Americans? It's like
There's something special.
There's the problem.
And son, you have the clip. Let's listen. And
To the
well,
guy.
this is not
Who
Disnuts,
did that?
but it's I think a news anchor talking about Disnuts. That's a weird name.
Okay.
Completed poll in North Carolina shows Donald Trump leading Hillary Clinton in a possible presidential matchup, but that's not the part that's grabbing people's attention today. It is the third-party candidate on that poll, candidate named D's Nuts.
Oh, no.
Really? A candidate registered as an independent from Iowa has the legal name of D's Nuts.
No.
Public policy polling showed him pulling 9% of the vote in North Carolina. He's also approached double digits on polls in Minnesota and Iowa. You can learn more about him right now on WJLA.com.
So Trump, of course, has been dominating that conversation in terms of, you know, all of the other things happening. But these nuts, 9% is huge when you have those other heavyweights there.
Sophia, America is like the best country in the world. Like, it's truly the land of opportunity. It doesn't matter who you are, how you are, it's all right. We will manage. Because if you can be some nut, and you actually get that.
It's a good joke. I mean, it's a good joke.
It's not a joke.
It
Trump
is
is running. So how can it be a joke?
He's running. You think it's a joke?
Are we seeing comedy in America now?
comedy,
Like
this
it's
one.
becoming more profound. I mean, even Trump running is quite comical.
Would you vote for him?
Never.
But then you're not in America. They'll vote for
Oh,
you.
no, I don't think they will.
What?
Do you get a sense they're just enjoying this person who is not politically correct, who will say whatever comes to his mind, who's setting people straight, no holds barred? I think that's what they're into right now. But as to whether he can run the greatest country in the world, we're going to have to wait and see.
I wouldn't be shocked if he's a creation of Donald
of
Trump.
the same party itself.
Creation of Donald Trump's creation of himself.
The
doing
nuts.
something, yeah, the nuts.
Then the nuts stops.
Because already Trump is nuts. You know, ever since Obama was running was in the race, these nuts could be a baby of a Trump baby.
Yeah. But you know what's interesting? His daughter, Ivanka Trump,
yes,
and Hillary Clinton's daughter, Chelsea, are friends.
They're rich kids.
Well, yeah, so they're really good buddies, and now the parents are at each other. So actually, CNN also had that story about whether they'll now,
if the families will survive.
I mean, that Solo says the rich families, just like the situation in Kenya where we have Raila's kids and Ruto's. I mean, they're all friends. So end of the day, it's rich.
True.
Are they?
So
yes, they are
friends.
They hang out.
All of them.
I mean, we learned that when there was a little bit of a small accident sometime along Valley Road.
Yes.
And everybody was like, oh my God, these people. And then who was driving whose car?
See.
And then you shut up and just say, okay, you know, the rich kids of Beverly Hills always hang out together.
Yeah, like we hang out like us guys.
Yeah.
You guys hang out. You're the rich kids of
Beverly Hills.
Standard. Before we go, let's talk about also what's happening in Nigeria. I hear is it NBC? Nigeria Broadcasting has banned some of Wizkid's songs and Davido. I think also Nicki Minaj is one of those, but it's one with obscenities, quote unquote.
But it's not new in Nigeria because you remember the song Ashawo? Ashawo, they banned it and it made him a star.
But it became big.
You know, it became even bigger than.
When you ban anything, it
and it was the same thing with
even in Kenya,
even the song.
Yes.
When they complain and say you're misleading our kids and all, and she just became all that big.
That movie.
Yeah.
What is it called?
50 Shades.
Not 50 Shades. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes, that one.
That was banned, and then everyone was looking at it.
Did you go and watch it?
Yeah.
Well, I looked for it to
the Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Yeah.
We banned something.
The one you went to watch in Tanzania.
You went to Holland to watch
She went to Seychelles. You guys. Why?
But let's talk about, you have the list shortly on your screen of some of those songs and them being banned. And so in terms of what you show on television, when you're seeing these songs, they argue that that's what sells, that's what people want. Is it what people want at this? Do people want to see, because you were talking about even, what's her name? Avril not changing because you want the booty and all these things. So there's the demand to see this
but it's a free world. It's a free world. We have the internet. You cannot stop. It does not. It's just.
It doesn't.
It's just a mere gimmick.
I think
I don't
musically
understand
solo.
I mean, we had them ban Kolo.
What did
and,
they ban? They banned who?
What's that?
The song that made the Veronica. You Guy, you remember You Guy?
Oh, the movement.
They also banned it, a station here banned it. And
the noise that was about Mustafa the other day and all that.
And the whole thing. But I think what they're asking is whether it's necessary for them to ban all these songs, you know, in succession, like This Is Bad. Because what was exactly bad about it? Is it the lyrics? Is it the visuals? Is it how people are looking at
the culture of drugs and crime and...
The culture of drugs and crime sometimes, yes, can come out in most of this. And I think that is why like in Kenya we have the board that looks at whether we are rating it as R, we are rating it as this and that. The Nigerians are very strict. By the way, interestingly, they're very strict. You remember in Big Brother Africa was banned in Nigeria because of the they're very, very strict when it comes to what they want.
But I thought you had to was the what is it? You subscribe to a different
VIP room,
VIP or something to be able, because
So for them it's not like here where it's okay.
So you can watch people shower.
You
can watch people shower.
It's Nigeria, and like we say, the moment you ban music and it becomes big, and trust you me, these guys will have money coming their way out of it.
But don't they have a role in terms of
Solo, you even know what he's going to say.
Solo is on fire. Okay,
he's raging.
Because I think don't they have that role as well? They're role models to these young people. So when they perpetuate this kind of things and propagate the same, push them, then it becomes okay. So these young people grow up thinking drugs is the in thing. We saw what happened with the school kids in that matatu, smoking, sexual whatever, So don't artists have that responsibility? Yes, you want to be in and cool, but where are you also being quote unquote accountable?
So you know what I'd say on this one usually, and this is my stand, I think it's yes and no. Yes, because sometimes you become a mouthpiece, because then people get to see you and there are things that they believe you should be. No, because an artist is a performer first, and they will do something because that is what they feel in terms of art. So you don't necessarily have got to be somebody's role model because you have a big song, or because you're the biggest comedian, or because you're the biggest, you're the best news presenter. There is who you are as an art. And sometimes when you're put up there that you need now to behave a certain way, it can almost be taking away from you artistically. So there's always that balance, that you don't necessarily want Avril to be a role model to which girls. She's just doing her music the best way she knows how. All
right, 30 seconds.
Well, like I'd said earlier, you see, these are just the other effects of government interference with music. Okay, and yeah, you see, because when you ban that song and it's still playing internationally, and we can still get it on the web, really, what are you doing?
Your thoughts?
Pop culture, again, musician is meant to entertain, and the best way they know to sell their business, it belongs to them. I think it's for the consumer to decide this is what you're taking, this is what you're not taking, and it's as simple as that.
All right. So, Lo, Stevens, Adis, thank you very much for joining us. That's the hot topics. There's still so much more to discuss, but our time is up. Director says we must go. But grab yourself a copy of the Nairobian, the Pulse as well, which is inside the Standard, has so much more for you. Thank you for staying with us on Morning Express. We wanted to have a look at what's happening on our roads. Remember yesterday we told you we'll be giving you an idea or a feel of what's going on, so that as you head out to make some informed decisions based on what you've actually seen. So this is a traffic camera that's mounted at what road, Director? And let's have it on. Okay, there you go. Yeah, he's about to tell me where that is, and then I'll let you know as well. But as you stay with Morning Express, DJ Genius will be coming up with some music, and after that we focus on the music industry. So we have some of the players coming together in partnership. Why is that they've decided to do that at this particular point? This coming at the backdrop, of course, of that protest by artists saying they want 7% of what's played on television and radio to be local music. And also you have the policy as well that was unveiled. So all of this and much more coming up. Director, what road is that? Oh, Kenyatta Avenue roundabout. All right. So it looks good. Yeah. So that's your traffic update. We'll endeavor to get different parts of the capital for you so that you get a wider feel of what's happening all over. But DJ Genius,